Hello statistics student, this video is for chapter 3.1 and 3.2 part 2. So we continue with how to calculate statistics, and we talked about two approaches in the first video. This is the third approach is subjective. You might not be able to repeat any procedures. You cannot do theoretical, so the only thing you can do is to estimate. For example, probability of stuck in an elevator. You cannot take an elevator. A lot of times it's not likely, so you would just take a guess, and of course this would not be very accurate. The next things about calculating probability is, I think we talk about those, is when you can write it as a fraction, but you can also round it to 3 significant digits, meaning you write 3 numbers behind the first non-zero number. And if it's a very simple fraction, like 1 over 500 or 1, you can do it as a fraction, or 2 over 3, you can do it in fraction. But usually we would use decimal around to 3 places. And we only use percentage when we're writing in a sentence or communicate with the public. So more terms. There are 4 terms that we're going to cover in this video: complement, or, and conditional. So it's a lot of different things. Why? Because events are not just very simple. So for example, the really easy one is complement of event A. Complement means A does not occur, and the symbol for complement is A bar. So do not confuse this with X bar. X bar was mean, but if A is an event in probability, A bar has nothing to do with mean. It just means that A does not occur. So if you know the probability of A bar would be 1 minus that. So for example, the probability of passing a test is 70%. The probability of not passing would be 30%, right? So it's really easy. Or 20% chance of rain. What is the probability of not raining? Not raining would be 1 minus the chance of rain, which is 0.2, so it's 0.8. So that is complement. The second one is or. So sometimes your event doesn't, in the previous example that we did, our outcome only have A, or some really only have one particular category, like you toss a coin, it is either head or tails. You choose a multiple choice, is for is correct or not correct. But sometimes it's more than that. So maybe like you toss a dice. Your outcome could have, your sample space could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So you have 6 equally likely events. So probability of having 3 is 1/6, because it's one number out of the 6th number. And then you can ask, what is the probability of 3 or 5, right? Maybe you do a game, you can only start when you have 3 or 5. Then it will be 1/6 plus 1/6, because I also only have 1 5. So probability of so you can say, oh, 3 or 5 would be, this is 3, this is 5. I have 2 of them. I should not do this. I should say this is using a formula. Oh yeah, this is the addition formula. Would be 2 out of 6, so that's 1/3. The second way of finding A or B is use the addition formula. We call it the addition rule in probability. So if you search addition rule, they would tell you how to find probability of A or. Addition rule is to find or. You just add probability of A plus probability and plus minus probability of A and B. So we'll talk about what is A and B. So in a sense, A or B means the number of ways that A happen, B happen, or A and B happen together. In this case, 3 and 5 can never happen together, so we just add them, right? So we just add probability of 3 is 1/6, probability of 5 is 1/6. So there are two different ways. You can circle the number of ways and count them, like 2 over 6, or you can just add them one by one if they don't overlap. So what is and? And is if the outcome is in both A and also B, so both have to occur. So when would this happen? So if I toss a dice, I would not have both 3 and 5. I would only have one face, right? So this happens usually when you are classifying your data in two variables. And a good example would be a student could be part-time, full-time, and also male, female. So you are looking at two category variables. So for example, take a student, and this student is full-time and also female, right? So it can happen in one person. So one outcome, but the student is full-time and female. And the reason why we have two happening is because we classify them in two ways. And we'll talk about how to summarize them. The fourth terms that we want to introduce is called conditional probability. Conditional means a particular condition has already occurred and you want to find a probability. So we would use the keyword given. So when you see the word given, it's not an English word, it's a probability word. So given B means B has already occurred. And we write it as like this, probability of A, vertical bar / B. A/B. That means number of ways that A and B has occurred together. But I just want to concentrate on if B has occurred, what's the chance that A happened? And then the way to do it would be the number of way A and B happen. But because I know B has happened, so what is the chance of A happening? By formula, you can use it. You can write it as probability of A and B divided by probability of B. So this is conditional probability formula. So we have addition formula, and we have this is just counting A and B, you just count. So let's look at how we can do it in the contingency table. So what is a contingency table? A contingency table is used to classify two categorical variable of a set of data. So I have 10 students that I sample here. So 1, 2, if I label them. So this is 10 individuals. So the first 3 are females and the last 7 are male. But we also classify them by a question that they want to ask, that I want to ask them, maybe an opinion of, certain things. Do they like certain, things that, or idea. So we have a question that we ask them and they say yes or no. So for female, there's 1 yes, 2 no. And for male, there's 3 yes and 4 no. So we can classify them. So you can look at the real data. So this is the data itself that has the two data answer from one student. So this is together. This is one person. And we classify them as a two-way table. So female, male is here. Yes and no is here. So if it is a female, yes, we do 1. There's 2 female that say no. So female, no is 2. So we count the number. And then male answering yes is 3 of them, right? 3 male answering yes is 3. So you can tell that. If you look at the table, you can tell, 4 means there's 4 male. They all answer no. Okay. So obviously, each cell is a N. Male and no. Male and no would be all the male, and they answer no. Don't look at this. It's as if you don't have this anymore. You can say that it's 4/10. So how do I know 10? You do the grand total. Is 1, 2, 3, 4 add together. That is 10. So it's 4/10. What about F and Y? So it's a female and answer yes. Female answer yes. They only have 1, so it's 1/10. So N there's no formula. N is just one cell. The count of one cell. What about OR? So if I have let me copy that over here so we can have it because it's in the other table. Oopsie. So this is female, male, yes and no. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for the simplicity of it. And the grand total is 10. So let's look at this. If I want to have a female or Y, so that means I'm selecting one student. Listen carefully. In this kind of calculation, we're always just picking one student. So that means I want a student that is either female or answer Y. So what are all the counts that answer Y and also female? So this is the one, this is the one, this is the one, right? So these are the three numbers that I want. I add them together, divided by 10. You can also use the formula, the addition rule, to do it. So I list it over here. So you know how to find N, you know how to find male and yes. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to go over this. What is the chance of selecting one student and it is a female? So females is all this whole row, right? So it would be 1 and 2 add together over 10. What about selecting one that is answer yes? All the answer yes is here. You don't care about the gender, is over here. So 1 plus 3 over 10. Oh, this is a plus, sorry. And then you minus 1/10 because F and Y is 1 over 10, so it's still 0.6. So you can do the calculation either by just circling all the corresponding number, or we call it the intuition or definition method, or you can use the formula. So either way is fine. Okay, so let me erase this first. After that, you should erase it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Okay, so male or Y. We want to find the probability of selecting one person. That person is male or Y. So male or Y means what? Male. I get all the males here, 3 and 4 at them. And yes would be here, right? This is a yes. So I get 1. So I circle 1, 3, and 4. So I get them together, divided by the grand total. So it's 0.8. The second method would be use a formula. Add the first one, add the second one, minus the N. Because when you add the first and the second, you're double counting. So you subtract the double count. So a lot of students do not like this. There's some students that like the second method. It's really up to you. You can use the definition method of circling the one that corresponds to male or Y, or you can use a formula. So if you use a formula, oh gosh, I tried this again. It should be add. Okay, it should be an add. And so it would be a 7 plus 11, and then minus 3 is 0.8. So they're the same. They get the same answer. So let's do the third one, which is conditional probability. Yes, given. Yes, given it is a male. I know the student is already a male. What is the chance that this male student will answer yes? So what you can do is, the method one is look at only male because the subject is a male. So you look at the total of male, which is 7, right? The total. You only look at concentrate on this row. And then what is the fact that this male column, the answer yes is 3 out of 7. So you're only looking at one kind, one. The method 2 is by formula. By formula, you would look at yes and male over male. Yes and male over male. So probability of yes and male. So N is one cell. N is one cell is 3. Right? It's 3. 3 over 10. Male is, all the male is 7 over 10. So after you simplify, it's still 3 over 10. So both of them are the same method. I think last time I did not talk about how to do, I did not talk about how to find probability of female, which is just the row, right? The whole row of female. And I didn't say how to find no. No is everybody that answer no is the whole column. So if there is no or and, it's just one thing. It is the sum of the count of one column only. Okay, so that's how you do contingency table, and you can do and, or, conditional, and also one thing. So we'll do we'll do the next videos on independent event and also some clinical test probability.